This is weird. So, just watching some bullshit on YouTube, and the Brooklyn Bridge popped up. I wanted to see. So the first thing I did was look up Brooklyn Bridge to see when the dates were, and then I looked up Brooklyn Bridge construction, and so 1869, I believe, is when it started. And it's interesting because all of the pictures, like, look at them. So you either have like these stumps, or you have the bridge pieces already completed and they're just sort of running lines and running cables. Every picture of the construction shows the stumps that are in the middle of the water already completed, which to me are the most, the craziest parts. Oh, look, there's one of those construction photos. That's fucking real. So, I mean, seriously, every photo that I'm looking at, the stumps are already done, except for these kinds of photos where, you know, it's like this bullshit. Like, and this is supposed to explain how they did it. All of them. And of course you have the ones where the guys are all standing there. Oh, hey, let's all stand here in our top hats. We're standing on the cables with the top hats on. Look at that. Well, that's our little walkie walk. But there's the thing, the stump, the whatever those are called. Those are always in the picture, except for these pictures where apparently this is the picture. Now, all these big blocks sitting on some land that's there, so somehow they diverted the water, and everybody's just standing around. Nobody's actually working, just standing there. Oh, what's this? A chimney and the changing waterfront. No. So every single picture. Oh, here's one. Is that an actual picture? Well, that looks like it's actually being built, sort of. Doesn't look like a real picture, though, and of course there's nobody in the picture. No humans are to be seen. Those cranes are sure working. Karen, what's happening? So let's read a little bit of history then, shall we? We shall. So we're gonna go Brooklyn Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge is a hybrid cable-stayed suspension bridge in New York City, spanning the East River between the boroughs of Manhattan and Brooklyn. Opened on May 24th, 1883. Man, there sure was a lot going on in 1883. The Vanderbilts are building houses and having $3 million parties to celebrate that house opening in 1883. It was also the longest suspension. It was also the longest suspension bridge in the world at the time of its opening, with a main span of 1,595.5 feet and a deck 127 feet above mean high water. The span was originally called the New York and Brooklyn Bridge, or the East River Bridge, but was officially renamed Brooklyn Bridge in 1915. Totally makes sense. Rename the bridge. Designer John Augustus Roebling. Before I go any further, I want to read about good old Johnny. Oh yeah, he looks totally not like a psychopath or anything. Was a German-born civil engineer, born June 12th, 1806, died June 22nd, 1869. He designed and built wire rope suspension bridges, in particular the Brooklyn Bridge, which has been designated as a National Historic Landmark and a National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark. He's known for the Brooklyn Bridge and the John A. Roebling Suspension Bridge. That's early life and education. This should be full of tons of details. Watch. Roebling was born June 12, 1806 in Mühlhausen. in Mulhausen to Friedrich Dorothea Mullerin and Christopher Policarpus Roebling. It's a weird Greek name to be thrown in there. Christoph. Recognizing his intelligence at a young age, Roebling's mother arranged for him to be tutored in mathematics and science at Erfurt by Ephraim Salmon Unger. He went to Erfurt when he was 15, and in 1824 he passed his surveyor's examination and returned home for a year. So he was 18. In 1824, he enrolled for 2 semesters at Buchadem in Berlin, where he studied architecture and engineering under Martin Friedrich Raab, 1765 to 1856, 90 years old. Bridge construction and foundation construction under Johann Friedrich, 1782 to 1837. Hydraulics under Johann Albert Ethelwein, 1764 to 1848. And languages. Roebling also attended lectures of the philosopher George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. He developed an interest in natural philosophy, and many years later worked on a 1,000-page treatise on his own concepts of the universe. That's interesting. In 1825, Roebling got a government job in the Arnsberg province and moved to Islo, where he worked for 4 years on designing and supervising construction of military roads. During this period, he made sketches for suspension bridges over Ruhr and Lenne River, which were never built. In 1829, he returned to his home to work out his final thesis and prepare for his second engineering examination. For unknown reasons, he never took the examination. That's it. That's the end. Now we get to career. On May 22nd, 1831, Roebling left Prussia with a group of immigrants bound for the United States. They included his brother Karl and the older Johann Adolphus Etzler, who believed in a technological utopia. Engineers had difficulty advancing and achieving economic mobility in Prussian society, in part because of the Napoleonic Wars, which had lasted until 1815, and suppressed investment in infrastructure. During this period, Prussia also had considerable political unrest as authoritarian governments took the places of democratic ones. Etzler believed that he could create a technological utopia in the United States, but disputes arose among the men en route. The group split up after reaching Pennsylvania. John and Karl Roebling purchased 1,582 acres. Wow, that's nice. Of land on October 28th, 1831 in Butler County, with the intent to establish a German settlement to be called Saxonburg. Most of the other settlers had remained with Etzler. In the 20th century, recognition of his historic importance, the John Roebling House of Saxonburg was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1976. Of course. When the Roeblings and others arrived, the United States was in the later stages of an economic boom, which ended in the financial panic of 1837, reducing everyone's opportunities. Farmers were deeply affected by it, as they often depended on credit to produce the next season's crops. By the 40s, the economy was improving, and many Americans believed in the nation's manifest destiny to extend its borders and achieve greatness on the North American continent. Transportation between eastern industrial hubs and frontier farming markets had become a matter of both national and popular interest. Many railway and transportation projects were underway near the site which Roebling chose for his colony, but instead of continuing in the engineering profession, he took up farming. After 5 years, he married Johanna Hertling, a tailor's daughter. He found agrarian work unsatisfying, and Saxonburg attracted few settlers. In 1837, after the birth of his first child and the death of his brother Karl, Roebling returned to engineering work. He first worked on projects to improve river navigation and build canals. Of course. For 3 years, he conducted surveys for the state of Pennsylvania, for railway lines across the Allegheny Mountains, from the capital Harrisburg to Pittsburgh in the far west, at the start of the Ohio River. In 1840, Roebling wrote to suspension bridge designer Charles Elliott Jr., offering to help with the design of a bridge near Philadelphia. And this guy was like, you know what? I have a feeling this is going to be an important letter, so I'm going to save it. The study of suspension bridges formed from the last 2 years of my residence in Europe my favorite occupation. Let but a single bridge of the kind be put up in Philadelphia, exhibiting all the beautiful forms of the system to full advantage, and it needs no prophecy to foretell the effect which the novel and useful features will produce upon the intelligent minds of the Americans. Why would you get that and be like, oh shit, well I need to fucking hire this guy? At that time, canal boats from Philadelphia were transported over the Allegheny Mountains on railroad cars in order to access waterways on the other side of the mountains, so that the boats could continue to Pittsburgh. The system of inclines and levels that moved the boats and conventional railroad cars was a state-owned enterprise, the Allegheny Portage Railroad. The railroad cars were pulled up and down the inclines by a long loop of thick hemp rope, up to 7 centimeters thick. The hemp ropes were expensive and had to be replaced frequently. So this is this guy's career. It has nothing to do with him, but lots of good details, right? Roebling remembered an article he had read about wire rope.
Is there anything
No, nothing to eat.
into about earlier today? I am very sorry for how
Stop doing this.
I'm very sorry for how I acted in school and I was very inappropriate.
What?
I'm very sorry how I acted in school and I was very inappropriate.
You're right.
I should have just taken the punishment, and I'm sorry for arguing with you.
Cool. You're still gonna clean the bathroom.
I know.
You want to grab yourself a thing of crackers, you can. I don't want to cut any cheese, damn it. Yeah, go ahead. No, wait. I'll cut it. Hang on. Yeah.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too. That's still, like, you're still in trouble.
I know.
Okay.
I'm just glad I get some crackers.
Huh?
I'm glad I get them white people.
Yeah, that helps.
Alright.
If you're hungry, why don't you eat this pizza?
That's Mom.
She's not gonna eat it.
And no. I don't really like pizza.
Please stop talking like that.
But I don't really like pizza.
Thanks. Sorry guys, we had to take a quick interlude.
Bible study?
We're not doing Bible study today. Today we're learning about the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh. Here's in cricket. Now my dad only took me to the finest chairs by the finest milk. It's called Toby Jack.
It's called Shut Up, Nathan. Nose is ready. That's what my nose is for.
You smell.
That's what my nose is for.
No, you smell bad.
Only when you're standing next to me. Boy, did you walk into that, huh?
Come on. Until we have the delicious crackers, the Ritz.
You know what? You should just eat some cookies and chips and stuff instead.
Oh yeah, totally.
That'd be better. That'd be a better snack. All right, so we'll get back to it in a minute. Again, I'm not quite sure how many of you have these weird thoughts where you wonder this shit like I do. But literally, this is what my brain does all fucking day, every single day. And just sit here and, yeah, I'm confused about this. That doesn't make any sense. Let's go look it up. And then I go look it up, and I'm like, oh, look, it's the same 15 people it always is, and it's some more bullshit, and it's unbelievable. What they were doing is they were pulling boats over the mountains using rail cars and hemp ropes prior to building this bridge, prior to building bridges. Yeah, we gotta get around these mountains somehow. So we're capable of engineering systems to pull boats over mountains on railroad cars, but be damned if we can invent a toilet. We still ain't figured that one out. We're still just pissing and shitting in pans and then throwing it outside the window, apparently. Wondering why everybody's sick. Right? These are the narratives we're given. You know, as my lunch break says, it's Donkey Inc., right? It's pretty fucking crazy. God, this show is awful. Pam, what's happening? Again, it's weird. I know I could just do this and I could just read all this stuff to myself, but I like the accountability, and there's something to be said about reading things out loud. Sitting here reading it out loud to myself would be kind of foolish. So, hopefully I can get on here with some people who are also questioning the same thing. And appreciate not having to read it themselves. Roebling remembered an article he had read about wire rope. Soon after, he started developing a 7-strand wire rope at a rope walk that he built on his farm. In 1841, Roebling began producing wire rope at Saxonburg to use in suspension bridges and such projects as the Portage Railroad. Who is it? Oh, hang on. They left.
But there's a package.
No, they're not. Oh. She's next door. No, she's just next door, so. But I'll make sure she gets it. Thank you. Oh. Oh. She might not get it all.
What?
There's candy in here. There you go. Play yourself. See who wins. It's almost impossible, dude. Oh my goodness. All of my favorite yummy yummies. Oh man, it's a left Twix. I only like right ones. I know. Horrible. Horrible for me. What's up, fam? You from Detroit? Usually. You're like identifying yourself as a Crip from Detroit. Saying cuz and what up, though? Uh, 1841, Rabbling began producing Riderwhoop and Saxon. Oh, 1844, Roebling won a bid to replace the wooden canal aqueduct across the Allegheny River with the Allegheny Aqueduct. I mean, you think about this. Like, again, this is people. This is, oh, what up, man? There's no telephones, there's no CB radios, there's no power tools, there's no computers, there's no TVs, yet this guy is building the Allegheny Aqueduct. I think I'm saying that right. Allegheny Aqueduct was John A. Roebling's first wire cable suspension bridge. It was built in 1844 near the latter Fort Wayne Railroad Bridge as a replacement for a wooden covered bridge aqueduct over the Allegheny River in Pittsburgh, part of the Pennsylvania Canal. What the fuck? Never looked like that before. What is going on here? I don't know if you guys saw, they sprayed the fuck out of us today. You seriously, go look at my video from earlier and just go look at they were spraying circles around us. It was circles. They were literally spraying in circles. Okay, so I just read you literally the only shit that's available for that Allegheny, whatever it's called, aqueduct. References and external links. That's all I get. No history of it. No how it was built. Why? Nothing. That's just it. I get more information on this guy's page than I do on the bridge page. His design encompassed 7 spans of 163 feet, each consisting of a wooden trunk to hold the water, supported by a continuous cable made of many parallel wires wrapped tightly together on each side of the trunk. I can't even picture it. Can you picture what I just described to you? His design encompassed 7 spans of 163 feet each, consisting of a wooden trunk to hold the water, supported by a continuous cable made of many parallel wires wrapped tightly together on each side of the trunk. Amazing, huh? He followed his innovation in 1845 by building a suspension bridge over the Monongahela River in Pittsburgh. The confluence of the Allegheny and Monongahela rivers at Pittsburgh forms the Ohio River. So this isn't like just some easy water. It's like not deep and all. This is deep water that runs really, really hard. He did it though. In 1848, Roebling undertook the construction of 4 suspension aqueducts on the Delaware and Hudson Canal. Wait a minute. See, the funny thing is we're not going to get any details, like how many men it took. See, the thing that you don't, how long these things took, how long did it take to build these bridges? We find out that he built them in, He built the one in 1840. No, in 1841 he began producing the wire rope. In 1844 he won the bid. 1845 he built it. So he's building these bridges across these incredible rivers in less than a year. And again, I don't know, is it him building it? What construction crew is being used? Where did they get the materials from? I mean, we're talking about huge cables and stuff. How were they producing these large metal cables that were then spun together? Like, this is just it's just weird. You know, it's a weird sort of, it's a weird narrative. So, in 48, he undertook the construction of 4 suspension aqueducts. What does that mean? I don't know. Did the state hire him? Is he getting paid? Does he have a suspension bridge company at this point? And what does that mean? I mean, so now are we talking about 4 separate crews? All of which happen to know how to do the thing that he's invented? Or I don't know if they're saying he invented it or he just invented this new process. I mean, I don't fucking know. I mean, I would assume if he's not the inventor, then why weren't they used before? During this period, he moved to Trenton, New Jersey. In Trenton, Roebling built a large industrial complex for wire production for his own growing company. So wait a minute. So now we're acknowledging that an industrial complex needs to exist to be able to produce the wire, right? But if that company didn't exist beforehand, then how did they produce these steel? I mean, these have to be like steel, right? This is high grade steel to be able to be used in a bridge that's still standing to this day, right? I mean, this is almost 100 years later, and these bridges still exist. This complex inspired Trenton's motto that appears on the Lower Trenton Bridge: Trenton makes, the world takes. That's their city's fucking motto? That's a pretty, that's a weird motto. Roebling's next project, starting in 1851. So, in 1848, he undertook the construction of those 4 suspension bridges. 4 suspension bridges. Don't know when in 1848, but it could be December of 1848 for all we know. We're talking about Philadelphia, so a large portion of the year is going to be spent. It's winter. It's going to be really, really difficult. And yet, he builds 4 of them by 1951, because his next project, starting in 1951, was a railroad bridge connecting the New York Central and Grand Western Railway of Canada over the Niagara River. Jesus! This is goddamn impressive. This guy is building railroad bridges over Niagara, and I would assume probably record time. Oh, this construction for this one took 4 years. At least for this one, we get to find a definitive construction time. So 4 years. Now, again, what's the company? This is international now, so because we're talking about Canada and Niagara, and there's a lot more, permits and all that shit that have to be done, but who cares? The bridge, with a clear span of 825 feet, was supported by four 10-inch wire cables and had two levels, one for vehicles and one for rail traffic. 1851. Vehicles meaning like horse-drawn carriages and shit, right? And the one thing that gets, it's sort of brought up by people kind of a little bit, but gets looked over way too much for me, is the horse shit. Everything had to be done by horse shit power.
Oh, wait, hold on.
You know, these people had to have horses. Yeah.
Someone to take pictures.
These people had horses. You can just say my husband got at it because she saw me.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll be fun.
The like the horseshit crisis of the 1800s in New York. Well, I mean that had to be everywhere. We're talking about carriages with wooden wheels, horseshit. It's wintertime. It's snow. It's muddy. Like this is just incredible to think this only took 4 years. And I'm assuming we're not really connecting. It doesn't even give the name of yeah, we don't even get to see the name of that bridge, so I can't just go look up that bridge, what it looks like. While the Niagara Bridge was being built, Roebling designed a railway suspension bridge across the Kentucky River, which required a clear span of 1,224 feet. I would imagine the clear span is the space in between the two thingies, the two large things, you know? I looked up construction photos for the the Brooklyn Bridge. And other than, like, there's several photos, you know, the two big towers that the bridge runs through in water. Other than, like, basically a picture that was like this, with people standing on top of it and some cranes and stuff. Every other picture, those two things are there, and the cables and all that have to get run. Strange how that works. Photoshop is a motherfucker, and they've had Photoshop the whole time. The anchorage and stone towers were completed, and the cable wire delivered along with the material for the superstructure when the railway company became insolvent. The bridge construction was halted, and he was never able to complete it. What is now known as the High Bridge was later completed as the first cantilever bridge in the United States, with a truss for carrying a railway track. Of course. A second version was built on the same foundations in 1911. The largest railroad bridge over a navigable river in the United States. The bridge is still in use. Second was built on the same foundations. Well, good thing those foundations were put there before we could actually see anything. Oh. In 1859, Roebling completed another suspension bridge at Pittsburgh. So this is only 8 years later now. Over the Allegheny River, its total length was 1,030 feet, consisting of two main spans of 344 feet each and two side spans of 171 feet each. His sons, Washington Roebling, worked with, there's that Washington name we all love to hear so much, worked with him on that project, having completed his engineering degree. Well, that's convenient. The American Civil War brought a temporary halt to Roebling's work, as resources were diverted to the war effort. In 1863, building resumed on a bridge over the Ohio River at Cincinnati, which Roebling had started in 1856 and halted due to lack of financing. He finished the bridge in 1867. The Cincinnati-Covington Bridge, later named the John A. Roebling Suspension Bridge in his honor, was the world's longest suspension bridge with a main span of 10,057 feet at the time it was finished. And that's that. They don't even mention that he built the Brooklyn Bridge in his career. What?
Why isn't the Brooklyn Bridge part of his career? That's why I'm here, because the Brooklyn Bridge. I came to that shit because of the Brooklyn Bridge. That don't make no sense. That's just fucking weird. You want to get Gabi started on some laundry? That'd be great. He's gonna clean the bathroom when I get home. Should have done it today during the day, but that was my fault. Kick his ass, Gabi. Kick his ass, dude. Some big ass mushrooms outside our house. Sorry, I know you guys wanted to hear more. I wanted to read more, but I gotta go pick up my kids, so. Hopefully, y'all stick around because I'm gonna get right back into it. Didn't mean to go live, didn't want to go live for such a long period of time, but I did. And now I'm stuck because I gotta finish that up. I want to learn more. Today has been one of the worst spray days I've ever seen. Like it's insane. Look, oh, speaking of which, shut up, Jessica. Where? God, it's so strange. I'm so glad my driver is always available. I don't like driving, so having he or she to do it is always great. I appreciate you, my driver, whomever you may be. It's crazy, man. I think it's weird, as if in the one room, the sky over here looks the same way. Tons of streaks everywhere. I'm sorry, Pam. Does it stink out where you guys are, too? Because the last few days, it's been like a weird fucking chemical-y smell. A weird chemical smell has been everywhere. Like, you go outside, it's just like, what the is it? It's weird. It's not even like your standard, it's chemicals, like bleach. It doesn't smell like that. It's like a shitty chemical smell. Like, I don't know. Look at this. Look at that. None of that's natural cloud. None of that looks like what clouds do. That all looks like clouds of shit. And I don't like, chemtrails are one of those things where it's like, it's kind of like Tartaria to me. Like, it's something for us to focus on. Tartaria to me is the best distraction there is. And that's like I mean it as a compliment, right? It's not like it's, I don't believe in Tartaria, or I don't think that stuff is true. It's just that the only, like, the thing about Tartaria is the only real truth we have is the truth that the Jews that control our narrative allow us to have. Look, that one that was above my head that I said it was just starting out, apparently it decided that it was going to turn it on because it wasn't on beforehand. You see that? You saw that it was leaving a small streak before that, right? And now suddenly it's leaving this big ass streak across the sky that actually interferes with the other shit. You see how it's almost like they're cutting through it? But hey, that's nothing. There's nothing there. I don't know why crazy conspiracy theorists like me would think anything of it, right? Israeli chemtrails, because that's who runs our show. I know people don't like hearing that, and blah, blah, blah. You guys have been programmed that you're not allowed to talk about the Jews for some reason. For some reason, everybody else can be talked about, but they're not allowed to be. Like, who can tell you you're not allowed to talk about anyone? You know, that's nobody else's shit. Look at that. Jesus Christ. That's just wild. Haha, nice. I pick up some drugs from my kid's school. Oh shit. Some plants, yo. I'm gonna pick up some plants, so I can get some of the residents of my house all fucked up today. We're getting drugs, so we can get the residents of my house fucked up. You take that how you want to take it. Wow, that was unnecessary. Where is everyone? I know Pam's in Florida. Where is everyone else? Does your sky look like this today too? Today, like right over where we are, maybe a little bit. See what I mean? It's like there's something in the air. It's nasty. And putting up the windows isn't gonna fucking save anyone. But they would fly out and they would do a loop and they would go back. And then there was another one. And then there was another one. And then there was another one. Like that's, oh, I thought you were in Florida, Pam. My bad. Minnesota. I just saw the cop switch lanes without using his turn signal. This is a pretty old school building. Not really thought about it, but look at that stonework. They just put that together. How do you do that? What do you even do there? You just get some big stones and then you got your mortar and you just set it in there. Just, come on. Strange shit, man. Strange. That's what we're capable of building. That's an old church by like modern standards. That thing's from like the 50s or the 60s or some shit. Bunch of bricks, ugly as fuck. You know, they couldn't get somebody to do fancy tiles up at the top like they do with all the old world buildings, fancy windows and fancy archways and all that shit. Couldn't figure any of that shit out, huh? Always interesting how that works. I mean, you guys understand that we're reading the story of the guy who did the Brooklyn Bridge. Even though that wasn't part of his career, apparently. The more modern houses, less fancy they got. Right, for some reason. Cost-wise, because rich people started caring more about cost when they built their big gaudy house than how the big gaudy house looks. Yeah, the extra few thousand it would take to make it ornate, they're not willing to do that, but they're gonna do everything else. It's just stupid. We're just, like, it's a requirement that we're fucking stupid. You have to be stupid as just dumb dog shit to be able to fall for any of this stuff. And where were the wooden toilets? Right, well, they didn't have any toilets. Apparently, the idea of toilets and pooping and all that wasn't a thing. Nobody thought we should try to plan for people taking a shit. That's her first time. Oh look, there's a space. I'll take it. Booyaka. You keep that down.
They got a plant, man.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Got that good shit. Got them planting it, that catnip. Oh shit, we got that catnip. I mean, drugs. We got drugs. Nothing to see here. Somebody has so much cologne on, that's all I can smell. Like, in a parking lot. Jeez Christ. It's crazy. It's all just crazy bullshit, man. I always like when the littles come out. They're so cute. I just don't know, man. I don't know what you guys think. Like, I'm trying to give you some sky shots right now. Don't want to do too much talking with all these bombs and stuff around. Oh, bro, these kids are crazy. It's insane. The kids are so fun. So sad. I can't imagine how that's not child abuse. You're setting your kid up for diabetes. Like all the rest of the shit. Hey!
Why are you here, Bill?
I don't know, guy. Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Look at your boots.
How dare you?
Look at your boots.
How dare you accuse my boots?
Those things are pretty snazzy.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, man. Doesn't snazzy sound good? I want some snazzy boots.
You gotta go to an expensive boot shop with my parents.
Oh, those are expensive boots, huh?
You wanna know what I want for Christmas?
No.
Robux.
Oh.
Or a laptop, but my parents are getting me a laptop.
Oh, yeah, well, you gotta be spoiled.
No, I'm not spoiled.
No, you're not with your expensive boots.
It's gonna go be that
Gone. Good. It should be gone.
Bye, Arabelle.
Bye, Arabelle. Oh, yeah, bye, guy. What's up, dude?
Hey, Dad. Nate got suspended, I heard.
No. He just got sent home.
So, technically, a suspension, but for a day.
She technically said he wasn't even technically suspended.
Is he not allowed to play games?
Yep.
He is?
No, of course not.
There's more time to get
Level 90.
There you go.
Wait, can I have him grind to my account, please?
Nope.
Dang it.
He's got a bathroom to clean.
Oh, yeah. I gave most of my sponacopia to DJ.
Why?
DJ is a freaking geek when it comes to
You were supposed to give it to the teachers.
I did, but the teachers didn't want them. I asked almost every single teacher, and they said no. The only one that wanted one was Miss Kara.
But it wasn't even supposed to be like you were supposed to give one. You were supposed to give it the whole plate, and they were just supposed to have. Don't you even think about eating my WWs?
They're mine.
No way. Those are my WWs.
We're sharing.
You don't even like them.
I do.
No, you
Which
don't.
ones are these?
The nasty peanut kind?
No, they're not that bad.
No, you don't like those.
Wait, how many are there? We're gonna split them 50-50, 60-40. Okay.
How was your day, dude?
Good.
Good.
Okay, you can have 4.
Oh, well, thank you.
I can have 3. 'cause I'm better than you.
Go ahead, take one. You can have the
No, I
extra
don't
one.
want.
Okay.
I don't want the extra. It just eats it.
Anything cool happened today?
No. We got a new gym teacher.
Nice
He's a
idiot.
man. He's a man, and he's not gay. Like, I don't care.
Wait,
if
the
he's
black
gay.
dude's gone?
Huh?
Black dude's gone?
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
Shh, shh, don't say the name.
Hmm?
Don't say the name.
Why?
Because I'm on the live and I don't want their names to be said.
Oh. But yeah, we got a new guy. I don't remember his name.
Well, cool. Did you learn anything at all today? Nothing new?
It was Miss Amber.
Yeah, well, there you go. Even though I just said don't say the teacher name.
Oh my god, my bad.
Go ahead and say it again. Like, special kid.
My bad. Hello, world.
Handsome boy.
Not that handsome.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, you are. It's not the best thing in the world.
Not always.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best thing.
You know what's funny?
What?
There's new rules where you can't swear, you can't lie, you can't not do right, you can't do anything.
Yeah, well, welcome to the new world, dude.
No, if you do anything at all, you get go transform.
Yep, that's what happened to Nate today. And he didn't like it, and he got in trouble for it. So, like I told Nate, even if it's something stupid, it's much better to take the good choices for him and deal with that than it is to get in trouble on top of the good choices for him.
Yeah. What's cool though? But I forgot what I was about to say.
Check out the drugs, man.
Yeah.
We got some
No,
drugs.
actually, no, what are those?
It's drugs, dude. It's gonna get the people that live in, or the beings that live in our house are gonna get all kinds of high from it, man.
They're so weird.
It's catnip, dog. Shh, shh. It's the good catnip.
Yeah.
They's gonna get high. How my wrist
You know what's
hurts.
funny though? One of my friends got a good choice for him for swearing, but my other friend, you know, freaking screams the F word and bangs on the table. Both those would get a good choices for him, and she didn't. She was the teacher that I said blank.
But
But when
that's
it was
the
going-
autistic girl, right?
No, the real, the gay one. But the rainbow hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, but then one of my friends.
So the boys are the ones that are gonna get in trouble, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is, man.
Sexist.
Unfortunately, it is. I wish it wasn't the way it is, and I've always got your back, but
We're closer.
at the end of the day, you got to follow the rules.
We're getting closer and closer to having more boy teachers. We have 3 now.
That's amazing. That makes such a difference.
Last year we only had 1. This year we have 3. And I'm pretty sure Blank's mom, the special girl, the one that you tell me not to
Yeah.
say anything. Her mom is not, I don't think, a gym teacher anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
She didn't. All she made us do was wiffle ball.
Right. Well, gym isn't just you fool around. Like literally, I use what I learned in gym class
more often than I use just about anything else. You learn how to stretch. You learn how to maintain your body in the ways to do things. You learn interacting with people and the teamwork, and there's so much that you learn from gym that's really an important class, and it sucks that so many schools don't think so and don't treat it like that. I almost bought one of those once.
Bought one what?
One of those.
That?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
If it weren't for a hurricane, I would have bought it. So today, I was learning about the Brooklyn Bridge. You want to learn about the Brooklyn Bridge?
Not really.
Damn.
Why?
It's interesting.
Okay. You can tell Nate because it doesn't have anything else to do. I have to get to level 90. Fast.
Okay, so your brother's already gonna have a hard time with it,
Yeah.
so let's not rub it in, okay?
Can I tell him when I get Super Saiyan God power?
Sure, but let's not keep. I can't wait. Oh, I gotta. And then you don't get. So now I get extra time, and all the other shit that you would normally do. No.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Except
It's
no.
a horse, of course. I don't know the rest of the song.
Horse, of course, unless of course it's talking horse.
Okay.
And then I don't remember. Something, Mr. Ed.
Unless you're talking to Mr. Ed.
No, that's not it.
Ugh.
Oh.
Me and Cam are becoming better friends. That's good.
Sure.
Basically, all the popular kids are becoming more and more my friends.
Well, that's good. Like I always told you, if you stop acting like a dumbass, you'll get all the friends you ever needed.
Yeah, especially
God, that's weird.
Especially because now their target is us, and I can't really blame them.
Now what?
Now their target is the nerd in my class.
Okay, so what's your responsibility?
To stop them,
Right.
even though
You don't even have like.
I don't
You don't
wanna-
have to stop them. All you have to do is stand up for the kid. If you stand up for the kid, they'll stop.
So
Yeah. That's what it is, and it's up to somebody to be the good person. So you. Come on, guys, leave him alone. He's got enough to deal. Leave him alone.
other kids
That's all you gotta say.
Other kids defend him with 5th graders.
Okay, so did you.
He
Nick,
he goes
everything you're gonna say is probably stuff you did last year.
He goes in their class for the entire day all the time just to see.
So
his
maybe he has issues that you don't know about. You think you know about everybody's issues?
friends.
Right. So what you're saying is, he clearly has a younger kid mentality. He's struggling, so kids should make fun of him.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Okay, well you kind of are. You're like, yeah, but he's so damn man. So is that justifying making fun of him?
no, but Dad, every time he talks,
See, now you're doing it again.
every time he talks, he says, according to my calculations, which
Okay,
is
and
sucks.
again, so that means you should make fun of him.
No, Dad.
If he says the same thing every time he says something, then the kid definitely has issues. You don't just say
'Cause
stupid.
He thinks it's funny because people call him a nerd all the time.
Okay, and that's probably the kid that'll be all of your guys' boss one day.
No.
Yeah, but even still, none of it is warranting making fun of him.
Okay.
If anything, if you got to make fun of somebody, make fun of the people punching down. Make fun of the people that make fun of kids that are weaker than them. See how they react.
Okay.
I mean, if you have to make fun of somebody in order to feel complete in your life.
I don't. I don't even do it. I just see them doing it, and I just like kind of laugh.
So you watch the negative happening and do nothing about it but laugh. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
It's just some of the stuff they say is funny, and
Yeah,
his
well,
reaction is just funny. He's just like, well,
right, because
according to my calculations.
he's only reacting in a way that he hopes or that he's figured out won't get him beat up.
He won't get beat up.
Right, because he acts in a way. All right, but he's acting in a way to try to make things better.
He's friends with the kid I bashed my head into.
Okay.
I actually think the kid that I bashed my head into is cooler than Isaac is. They both.
It sounds like everybody's cooler than Isaac is.
Yeah. I mean, like, just slightly. The only reason is because he knows video games. He plays video games.
Oh, well then, yeah, he's definitely cool.
Hey,
Hi, baby. How was your day?
Hi, Mom. That was great.
Awesome. How cool is that?
Cool, cool. Way to leave the door open.
No, I didn't.
Come here. Go on, come here. What's that?
Closed door. See?
All right, so. Nate! Oh, okay. When he's done, he can. When he's done, he can empty the bathroom, and then we'll get that started.
Hi, Nate.
Fucking shit hurts. All right. Plug back in on my last leg here. Trying, guys. Give me a second. Get right back into our Brooklyn Bridge expose. I mean, I find it so strange how,
What's wrong with the Brooklyn Bridge?
Nothing's wrong with it, per se. Just looking up the history of it.
Oh.
But-
Isn't it supposed to be the oldest bridge, or is that Ambassador?
Neither. The Ambassador Bridge might be like the oldest, it's the oldest privately owned, it's the only privately owned international border crossing, I believe, in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Be another good one to look up. How the fuck did they build that shit? When? I bet it's somewhere in that little window where we were able to construct anything we wanted in multiple, in just a couple of years. If it's even a year. See, I really stumbled into something the other day. So, the Vanderbilts, I mean, if you're new to Tartaria, well, I guess, go look up the Vanderbilts. But if you look up the Vanderbilt houses, there's the main house in New York, but then they had their summer cottages. And in their summer cottages, the one was called Marble House. But Marble House wasn't the biggest one was called the Breakers. It was just a summer home. And the previous house burnt to the ground in November of 1892. And they were able to finally finish construction on the new monstrosity by the end of 1892. Essentially, they're saying it took less than a month. Even if the house was made of wood, how are you going to build it in a month? How are you going to clean up the old house that burnt down and build the new house in a month in Rhode Island in December? Or is it Newport News? I think it's Rhode Island. All right, so this John A. Roebling is the guy that built the Ambassador Bridge, but apparently when you look up his biography, it says nothing about the Brooklyn Bridge. Roebling devised an equilibrium strength approach in which equilibrium is always satisfied, but compatibility of deformations is not enforced. Yeah. This was essentially an approximation method similar to the force method. First, Roebling computed the dead and live loads, then divided the load between the cables and the stays. Roebling added a large safety factor to the divided loads and then solved for the forces. They're not going to tell me what those equations are. This approach gave a sufficiently accurate analysis of the structure given the assumption that the structure was sufficiently ductile to handle the resulting deformation. Okay. Roebling's company, John A. Roebling's and Son, is credited with being the cable contractor for the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California, constructed from 1933 to 1937. Now, think about what was happening in the world at that time, in the United States. The Depression started in 1929. So 1933 to 1937 is like mid-Depression. And yet, somehow...
When did it start?
1929. The collapse happened in 1929. And somehow, the Golden Gate Bridge is going up, no problem. The Golden Gate Bridge was and still is a technical engineering marvel that Roebling posthumously There you go. You say it now. Humulously. Fuck it. You know, after his death, has a footprint on. Posthumously. Remaining abundance of the D.H. Never Sink Aqueduct. The shaky bridge near Trenton water filtration plant on Route 29. So, his first bridge, I guess, circa 1800s, not sure when, circa 1800s. The shaky bridge near Trenton water filtration plant at the Calhoun Street Bridge spans approximately 20 feet. So he was like, that was his first bridge. The demonstration bridge, circa 1800s again, spans two buildings of the former Roebling plant, Trenton, New Jersey, now the Mercer County Executive Building on 175th South Broad Street. So again, this is a guy who came from Germany, bought 1,500 acres, was going to build, had a commune there, was like a settlement, but it didn't take. And so he didn't like farming very much, so he went back to being an engineer. 1844, the Allegheny Aqueduct Bridge, Pittsburgh, 162 feet. Wow, that's quite the jump there, huh? 1946, the Smith, so 2 years, it took, I guess 2 years? I mean, again, and it was demolished in 1861. Built in 1844, demolished in 1861. Why? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see. The Allegheny Aqueduct was John A. Roebling's first wire cable suspension bridge. It was built in 1844 near the latter Fort Wayne Railroad Bridge as a replacement for a wooden-covered bridge aqueduct over the Allegheny River in Pittsburgh, a part of the Pennsylvania Canal. So they built the bridge in 1844 to replace the bridge that was there before that so they could tear it down in 1851. 61. Construction started in 1844. Construction ended in 1845. 7 of 162 feet each. 7 number of spans. 7 of 162 feet each. Material: wood, charcoal, iron, wire, rope. Where did this charcoal, iron, wire rope come from? If his company was the first of its kind like that, then who built the rope? What? Seriously. 7 spans of 162 feet each across a river took them a year. 1844 to 1845. $162 feet. They built the 2 towers that go in the water,
Yeah.
and then they built the
No, it makes
bridge across.
perfect sense.
And they
Just
built
do it.
the materials too, because
Yeah.
there was no bridge. Like, they weren't like, here's all these materials, build this bridge out of it. He sequestered the fucking materials. Somehow they were built, delivered, and then again, I'm not sure. They keep saying he built it. They don't say he just designed it. They say he built it.
Perfect sense.
With what? How do you build how do you build the towers in the water? That's what I want to know. So this is another. Is this the bridge I looked up earlier? So when I look up that bridge, then I go down to like history. Nothing. Just references and external links. The references are: number 1, Donald L. Gibbon, How Roebling Did It, building the world's first wire rope suspension aqueduct in 1840s Pittsburgh. That's it. That's the only reference. Well, fuck, here we go, man. There we go. I could build this. I could read this whole thing. I wonder how many mistakes I'm going to find, like, immediately. John A. Roebling was arguably America's foremost early bridge.
What?
So empty the bathroom, please. Was America's foremost early bridge building.
Did he replace the garbage can liner?
We'll see. What?
We'll come up.
We'll figure something out. Don't worry, buddy.
Did you replace the can liner? Garbage. Okay, thank you.
Foremost early bridge building genius. He was a genius.
What else did he do? Veterinarian?
No. You are not just going to keep eating, okay? You can wait till, I just gave him cheese and crackers like a half hour ago. Yeah. No, you're fine. No, you can go take care of the bathroom. No.
I'm going to make dinner shortly. Okay.
Okay, you shut up and get to it. His first structure using wire rope suspension was a wooden aqueduct built in 1844 to 1845, which carried the Pennsylvanian Mainline Canal across the Allegheny River into downtown Pittsburgh, the western terminus of the canal. Philadelphia was the eastern terminus. 3 years early. Oh yeah, you said what did he do before? I told you he was a German guy who studied under these German masters apparently. Came over to the United States, bought like 1,500 acres in Pennsylvania or something like that. Was going to start a commune, a settlement, Saxon something town, but it didn't really take. Nobody came, and after about 5 years, he got bored with farming, so he went back to building bridges, and he just sort of, like, it's not like they say like how he got the gigs or anything like that. He just did. Well, maybe this will. This is a lot. 3 years earlier, Roebling had developed wire rope of a substantially different design for Allegheny Portage Railroad, another part of the canal. Right, because prior to the canal being there,
They swam across it.
That'd be stupid. No, they designed a system to be able to pull boats on railroad cars over mountains.
But they didn't.
Using hemp rope, up to 7 inches thick.
Sounds like they smoked a lot of weed and wrote a lot of fun stories.
No, this is real.
Yeah.
They were putting boats on railroad cars and then using hemp rope to pull the cars over mountains.
Have you ever been on a mountain?
Yes.
Okay, because so have I. And it's hard to traverse on foot, let alone many wheels. With a boat on it.
They put boats on railroad cars and pulled them over the mountains.
Boats are all flat on the bottom, right?
They put boats on railroad cars and pulled them over the mountain with hemp rope.
Well, they did it.
Yes, they did. I mean, granted, this is the 1840s, so cameras are a thing.
Maybe the mountains were smoother back then.
Just shut up, okay?
Because we've had lots of earthquakes.
Just shut
so
up.
maybe that's what
Okay,
made it
shush. I'm trying to learn you. He had hand laid up, i.e. twisted, those first ropes near Pittsburgh on his farm in Saxonburg. So those charcoal iron, this is just a charcoal.
No, he made the hemp ropes.
No, charcoal iron wire. Wait. Basically, he had this stuff. And you know how, like, you ever seen how they make old school ropes? How they have, like, the thing, and then the guy walks out and they twist it. Yeah, he was doing that with wire cables that he had.
Right.
Because he had wire cables.
Well, he had a commune.
He had cables. He had wire cables.
Yeah.
And he twisted them in his better wire cables so that he could pull boats on railroad cars over mountains. And then somebody was like, you know, this is difficult. Why don't we just build a bridge? Why didn't we think of that? I mean, we could just do it in like a year. We can go across this. Why didn't we just do that a long time ago? Can you imagine how much engineering went into building the machine, the system, the whatever it was that pulled boats on top of railroad cars over mountains?
That seems way more complex than a bridge.
It does. It really does. But then again, while we were building giant buildings and palaces of Versailles and castles and all that shit, nobody thought about shit. No plumbing. All those big giant castles and like skyscrapers and shit that they were pooping in a bucket,
Or it's a pot.
a chamber pot. Some of them are very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. And then you carry it to the
Water.
window, I guess, and you're like, hey, look out! And you toss it out.
It's almost over.
You toss the shit and piss out the window, or you let it sit all day until you get enough, and then you take it out at night. But then again, they had chambermaids, which were specific. Their whole job was emptying out the shit pot every day. Now, see, nobody talks about that when they talk about where the jobs went, about progress taking over jobs, and you know, like we talk about, the self scanners. Yeah, that's a motherfucker, no doubt. But what about all the poor chambermaids? Once they got rid of that shit, what did the women do? I mean, how many sandwiches can be made? Can you use? Oh, well, and educated all the boys. Don't forget. The women were the one. The uneducated women were the ones educating all the boys.
All right.
At home.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It just makes sense. And just think, I'm like 5 sentences in. By contrast, the ropes for the aqueduct were laid up in laid up in place. So that's twisting, i.e. twisting. Laid up in place by traversing 3,800 individual parallel wires across the Allegheny River and bundling the wires into cables. So they didn't even make the cables first.
No, they swam.
They
Here, you swim with this end and go over there, and when you get there, tug on it.
had
That way
boats.
I know that you got there with...
They had boats. So they took the boats, dumbass. They took the boats and swim all of them. Some of them maybe, but not all of them. They had them across the river. And then they were like, let's twist these into... Well, because you would have to imagine...
So
They would have to be like way, way long. But like if you're going to do that...
Hey, I'm twisting to the right.
But if
so
you
then you have to get on the boat and then go tell him that.
But if you twist, you have to... Like when it twists, it's going to get a lot shorter. So you would have to have the lines
extra long.
Run way, way long.
Sure.
Sure.
And like I said, carrier pigeon. That's how they did. I'm twisting right.
Right. No. Yeah. Of course.
Down, put on the
okay,
pigeon.
Billy.
Now fly to John.
Fly across the water over there.
And tell him I'm twisting to the right.
Okay, and then he'll put another note on your leg, and then you come back. Okay. Okay. Go.
Maybe it was the railroad cars coming over the mountains that told them. They have to wait for them.
That would take too long. I mean, maybe. I don't know. It seems like, I mean, if they could do it, they could probably do it quickly. If they could do it, they could do it quickly. Let's just say that. Anyway, that's the 6th sentence.
Unbelievable.
The ropes for the... What are you doing? Okay. The ropes for the aqueduct, according to Roebling's record, were 1,100 feet long and were made from 200,000 pounds of number 10 charcoal iron wire produced in Pittsburgh. So, where was it produced in Pittsburgh? What was the iron wire factory, charcoal iron wire factory, that produced the charcoal iron wire, 200-some thousand pounds of it, and then shipped it on over to good old John Roebling so he could swim it across the water and make cables out of it?
They had all those coal mines and...
See, this is the problem, right?
Where all the coal miners were.
Both my wife and I are skeptical, but my wife is even, like, more skeptical. Like, she's my wife, so she doesn't want me to be right. So she's always looking for little things like, that's stupid, shut up. And she struggles with the Tartaria narrative. Doesn't really, like, whatever, doesn't see the point, blah, 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 blah. I don't care who you are. I'm not making this up. This is the official narrative. If you don't see a problem with what you're told in this, like, I don't know what else to say. Like, how do you think about what you think 1800s America looked like?
Clearly not what we were told.
Something else is happening.
Now, with that said,
see, here it comes.
With that said, for real though, like, if there is a major reset that happens every however often, you know, that is something that is completely out of our control. We'll never have control.
For sure.
And, you know, so we can't stop it. All we can do is try to live a happy life. You know, that's it. So I guess that's where...
Yeah, but we're not allowed to live the happy lives we definitely could live and should live.
Well...
And that's my whole thing is let's get us all there.
Yeah, but as soon as you do that, they're going to hit the reset button. So why do you really want to rush? It's
maybe.
Like, you know, I can't wait till I'm an adult. And you become an adult and you're like, what the fuck? I should have been a kid longer.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
So,
you know, because let's just say, you know, if we were all living okay and it wasn't so hard and the future didn't look so bleak. Because it really does look bleak. You start factoring in, the arguments over minimum wage and inflation and all these things that they're doing to us. It doesn't seem like the future is very good anyway. And it almost seems like it's pretty scary, especially when you start going FEMA camps and stuff like that.
I mean, historians, however, argue that historically every generation has taught this. That
No.
our kids' futures look blue.
Yeah, but
Has been an ongoing theme.
no, of course part of the idea of control, like every belief structure we have is based on death, doom, and gloom. Because if the people that are scared are the people that are easier to control, no doubt. Then you can see that the evolution of it when you go from, the 1900s where it was we're all going to die because they're going to launch nukes because the missiles and stuff, to now we're all going to die from biologics.
Okay, so you have to start, right?
No, I got to get him the bucket and stuff. So, I personally, I want to do everything I can to stop the genocide happening right now and stop what's coming. The continuation of the genocide, the expansion of the genocide, the Greater Israel Project, which seemingly is going to take a large swath of land. And I just hate these fucking Jews. I just hate them. I hate their everything. I hate everything about them. They're just awful, awful, ugly, cult, disgusting people. Especially when you're talking about circumcision. So, like, there are plenty of reasons to actually look at this. Never mind the fact that it's interesting. The heavy beams were almost entirely white pine. It is important to remember that the structure was built basically by horse and by hand, without mechanical equipment other than block and tackle. A significant part of the cost of the structure included keeping smithing fires burning for 200 days. Seems like that would be a pretty big deal. While the canal route came down the north shore of the Allegheny River toward Pittsburgh, the big money interests in Pittsburgh wanted the western canal terminus to be downtown, on their side of the river. Thus, the canal had to cross the Allegheny River by aqueduct. A wooden structure on 7 stone piers had served this function from 1835 to 1844. Don't care who built that. During the winter of 1844, because now the winter is going to affect things, an ice jam wiped out the structure. Replacing the aqueduct quickly was a high priority for the city because the canal was bringing thousands of tons of freight into the city. At its peak use and during the ice-free season, a canal boat passed a given spot on the canal every 20 minutes. The Canal Commission in Harrisburg left the execution of the job to the city. Early in 1844, the state legislature passed a bill authorizing the mayor, aldermen, and people of the city of Pittsburgh, to rebuild or repair the aqueduct by their own expense, and then to exact whatever tolls they needed to pay for it. When the construction expenses had been fully recouped, the toll authority would revert to the Canal Commission. Are you kidding me? Dithering between Pittsburgh's Aqueduct Committee and Canal Commission, between the Aqueduct Committee, the Canal Commission, and Roebling, consumed several valuable months of warm weather construction time. So, they weren't even working on it the whole time? Finally, a $62,000 contract was approved for Roebling, acting as a sole proprietor, to remove the shattered remains of the old wooden aqueduct, repair the 7 masonry piers towers, and build a new aqueduct using wire rope suspension, a radically new concept. This seems real to you guys, huh? Roebling accepted the responsibility to provide debris removal, erection equipment, accounting, ordering, design, project management, and personal responsibility for the entire project. There had been at least one competitive bid for less money, and the loser conducted a fairly vigorous campaign in the editorial pages of the Pittsburgh Gazette to have his design reconsidered, but his efforts did not succeed. On August 12, 1844, Roebling filed an acceptable 27-page handwritten set of specifications for the aqueduct with the Canal Commission, detailing the design and materials and the calculations on which the design was based. The calculations are remarkably simple, but what he created then are still the basic principles for today's suspension bridges. So he won the bid and then came up with the 27-page design? By April of the next year, the job was done. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. So in August, he submits the plans, and by April, the job is done? Over the winter? The winter is what destroyed the previous bridge, but over the winter this time, he not only removed the previous bridge's debris, but also constructed the new bridge. This is bullshit. Even before that job was complete, Roebling landed a contract to so not only was he the everything behind this project and got it done during the winter months in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, on the water, he was also getting other contracts for things. Before that, landed the contract to construct his first highway suspension bridge over the Monongahela River less than a mile away, on the site of the present Smithfield Street Bridge. This one was also completed in less than 1 year. See, you'll see this time and time again with your history, where there's a lot of details, except when it comes to the how, to the meat and potatoes of it, the logistics of things. How the fuck did they do this? It's just and there was bickering, and then and then this guy was involved, and then those people were involved, and from 18 this, and then he was doing this, and then he got this, and then this, and then blah blah blah. Oh, and then it was done. And you're like, wait, what? By 1859, Roebling had built a second suspension bridge on the site of the present 6th Street Bridge, one of what are known today as the Three Sisters Bridges. In that bridge, he used I-beams instead of wood for the major structural members. Where did he get the I-beams from? An 1859 lithograph is one of the few images of Pittsburgh that shows it with all 3 Roebling structures spanning its rivers at the same time. Interestingly, the Roebling Smithfield Street Bridge was replaced about 38 years later by the present iron double lenticular truss structure designed by Gustav Lindell, who went on also to design the Queensboro Bridge in New York. That bridge is within the site of Roebling's Brooklyn Bridge. Both are still in use today. Thus, Pittsburgh was the proving ground for two of America's greatest bridge builders. That's just amazing. I mean, wow, he's right, Pam. Why ropes? Why wire ropes? Pittsburgh at the time was a major center of boat building, the boats being used for descending the Ohio to the Mississippi and beyond in the westward expansion of the young country. Ropes were a big feature of outfitting the boats, and in Pittsburgh there were at least 3 rope walks, long open areas in which the labor-intensive mechanical process of laying up the hemp fibers was carried out. The hemp was originally imported from the Philippines or Russia, but increasingly was grown in nearby Kentucky. Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, in the 1800s, they were importing hemp from Russia or the Philippines. Now remember, they didn't know about going to west, going across the Pacific. So they were taking that stuff all the way down around India, back up around, back all through the English Channel, then across the Atlantic Ocean. Man, that had to be much cheaper than growing it themselves. And they had these rope walks just there for anybody to use them. Fuck it. This is so frustrating. This is just so frustratingly stupid. During the first years of the operation of the mainline canal, hemp ropes were used to haul the boats along the route of the canal. They were the only material available. When the canal reached the Allegheny River Mountains, a unique engineering solution had been proposed for traversing this major topographical obstacle. The boats were removed from the canal. Each boat was split into 2 sections and pulled across the mountains on special railroad cars, which rode up and down a series of inclined planes. She has to hear this because she was the one wondering. Chubby girl, I've got an answer for you if you want to hear it real quick. Let me just hold off for a second. Is anybody watching this thinking what I'm reading makes sense? The yada yada parts don't seem to bother you very much, and you're like, yeah, so what? They just did it. Yeah, why not? Fucking A. Like, this all makes sense, importing hemp from Russia or the Philippines. Love to know how those connections were made. Love to know the story behind the hemp importation. Seems like it would have been so much easier to do lots of other things than get it from. You know what we should do? We should read about Hawaii. That just shows them. Sorry, guys. What is you doing? Oh shit. She tricked me. She fucking tricked me. Missing my show. It's my show. It's my shit right here. Can you imagine how difficult it had to be growing up looking like that fucking guy? Jesus Christ. Sucks. Sure wouldn't mind looking like that. Damn, she's got big titties. He gets hit on by everything. Come on! Oh. You're killing me, Smalls!
What the hell's this?
You're fucking killing me.
Oh, oh. No wonder the plants were so heavy.
Okay, so, just so you know,
On the stove to get the catnip plants.
Pittsburgh at the time was a major center of boat building, the boats being used for descending the Ohio to the Mississippi and beyond in the westward expansion of the young country. Ropes were a big feature of outfitting the boats, and in Pittsburgh, there were at least 3 rope walks. Long open areas in which the labor-intensive mechanical process of laying up the hemp fibers were carried out. The hemp was originally imported from the Philippines or Russia, but increasingly was grown in nearby Kentucky. Remember, they weren't shipping things across the Pacific. So the shit that came from the Philippines and Russia had to come all the way down, all around India, all the way up through the English Canal, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, then be brought all up the Erie Canal and then down into Pittsburgh.
Where'd they
Because
get the fuel for that?
that was cheap. Well, the fuel they were sailing, but you know, you think that might have made it cost a little bit? What do you think? You think that might have added the cost? I mean, I know if you buy your weed from California, there's always the plane ticket associated with it. So the labor intensive, there were 3 rope walks in Pittsburgh. Yet when he made the bridges, he didn't use those. He strung the lines across the river and then twisted them, right? That's what they said.
Yes, then twisted.
You missed a bunch. Like, you missed just the shit they try to say is just, it's fucking stupid. During the first years of the operation, oh, here you go. This was that other part. During the first years of the operation of the mainline canal, hemp ropes were used to haul the boats along the route of the canal. They were the only material available. When the canal reached the Allegheny Mountains, a unique engineering solution had been proposed for traversing this major topographical obstacle. You know, mountains.
Yes.
Mountains. The boats were removed from the canal. Each boat was split into 2 sections and pulled across the mountains on special railroad cars, which rode up and down a series of inclined planes. This was the APRR section of the canal, and Roebling had soon found his way to this interesting engineering challenge. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Again, they just figured out a way to use ropes to take boats that were cut in half essentially, which then got put back together. But they up a series of inclines and declines on special railroaders using hemp ropes over mountains before they figured out we could build a bridge. and actually, they built the canal, right? Because a canal is a man-made sort of thing, right? They're building the canal that went through there first. Before they were building bridges for said canal, they built the canal. You know, they dug the ground out to make the water go through.
With shovels.
And then had concrete along the sides of the water so
How
it
did they
didn't...
stop the water while they were digging?
I mean, you can't be stupid here. Today, at the center of the route of the APRR along the U.S. Route 22 near the town of Crescent, Pennsylvania, there is a National Park Service site preserving the history of this part of the canal. The canal boats were drawn up the mountains by stationary steam engines, then moved horizontally along the plateau by mules, then lowered down a second set of inclined planes on the other side. The cost of all of this had to be they were moving boat sections across the plateau with donkeys.
Did the donkeys pull the railroad cars with the boats on them?
I mean, the mountain range is like, it's not up a mountain and then down the other side. It's a range.
And it's not smooth.
Well, the plateaus are. So they had donkey ink sections stationed at each side of the plateau. So the one boat would come, they'd donkey ink it across while they'd pass the other guys who had just taken the other boat across. How many donkeys did they have employed back then? To pull the special railroad cars with the boats on them. That were raised and lowered to plateau by steam engines. With hemp ropes. Yeah, for real. On one unfortunate day, just one day, Roebling saw 2 men die when one of the massive hemp ropes broke and the car got away. He reasoned that there were better materials solutions, and that reasoning stimulated Roeberg's plan to make iron wire ropes. So he did invent them. Although they had them, but they were just single iron wire cables. Nobody had thought to braid them like ropes until now. In 1841,
What you doing with our daughter's hair there, dear? Well, I'm braiding it. It makes it stronger so it doesn't break as easy.
Too bad we can't use that in the real world in any way. In 1841, Roebling wrote up a patent application for his rope making process titled A New and Improved Mode of Manufacturing Wire Ropes. He wrote it up and then took it to the patent place, which was like stamp, and then they made copies and sent it all over the world. So in case anybody else ever did it, they were like, nope, nope, nope. Roebling did it in 1841. Right? He had used wire ropes that he had made. God, I love how we know it was a he had. You don't have to keep saying he had. That is so this is the only resource for this bridge. You can't find any other resource for this bridge. This is the main resource, and this guy is using the old college trick of adding words unnecessarily because your report has to be 500 words or 5,000 words long or whatever. Interesting, huh? He had used wire ropes that he had made. Oh, yeah, right. Because the original ones he made at his farm in Saxonburg on the Portage Railway, and had also begun to sell ropes elsewhere. But there is a great deal more to an aqueduct than just wire ropes. Yeah, no shit. I forgot to read you this part. You were already gone. Okay, so finally, a $62,000 contract was approved for Roebling, acting as the sole proprietor to remove the shadow. Oh, wait, we missed this part. Early in 1844, no.
Who wrote all these accounts down?
A wooden structure on 7 stone piers had served this function from 1835 to 1844. Who built that one? Don't know. During the winter of 1844, an ice jam wiped out the structure. Replacing, because remember, it's Pittsburgh. Replacing the aqueduct quickly was high priority for the city because the canal was bringing tons of money in, blah, 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 blah. During peak use, a canal boat passed a given spot on the canal every 20 minutes. So remember, this is the canal that they were bringing the things up the mountain. So every 20 minutes, Donkey Inc. was taking a fucking boat across the plateau. Okay. The Canal Commission in Harrisburg left the execution of the job to the city. In early 1844, the state legislature passed a bill authorizing the mayor, aldermen, and the people of Pittsburgh, of the city of Pittsburgh, to rebuild or repair the aqueduct at their own expense, and then to exact whatever tolls they needed to pay for it. When the construction expenses had been fully recouped, the toll authority would revert to the Canal Commission. That makes sense, doesn't it? No, it gets better. Dithering between Pittsburgh's Aqueduct Committee, the Canal Commission, and Roebling consumed several valuable months of warm weather construction time. Finally, a $62,000 contract was approved for Roebling, acting as a sole proprietor to remove the shattered remains of the old wooden aqueduct, repair the 7 masonry piers towers, and build a new aqueduct using wire rope suspension, a radically new concept that he invented. Roebling accepted the responsibility to provide debris removal, erection equipment, accounting, ordering, design, project management, and personal responsibility for the entire project. There had been at least one competitive blah, 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 blah. On August 12th, 1844, Roebling filed an acceptable 27-page handwritten set of specifications for the aqueduct with the Canal Commission, detailing the design, the materials, and the calculations on which the design was based. That's August 12th. He's delivering the plans. We haven't even started construction yet.
So we're going to
Ship. The calculations were remarkably simple, but what he created then are still the basic principles for today's suspension bridges. By April of the next year, the job was done. He didn't even start construction until after halfway through August. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 months. 8 months. It's Pennsylvania, it's Pittsburgh. So 7.5 are cold.
Pittsburgh's way fucking cold. They get a lot of snow.
A lot of snow. It's water. They got the and it's on the water, so there's the lake effect.
Right.
So he did all of it in 8 months. Basically, I guess by himself.
That's faster than they could do it now.
He did a suspension bridge out of wires. Wait. You're not
They
done.
haven't fixed the Redford footbridge. It's taken them a year and a half.
You're
and they
not
still
done
don't
yet.
have it done. It's a footbridge.
You're not done yet.
Walking and
Shush.
bicycles.
Even before that job was complete, Roebling landed a contract to construct his first highway suspension bridge over the Monongahela River less than a mile away. So while he's also doing all the work and all that, he's also out shopping jobs. Less than a mile away on the site of the present Smithfield Street Bridge. This one was also completed in less than 1 year.
Stephanie's cottage on Angling, this little like 1,200 square foot house. They're not living there. She bought it, hired a construction company last summer.
Do they have power tools?
Yeah.
They didn't
And
have power.
trucks.
They didn't have power tools back
That
then.
house still isn't done. It's been over a year. That's just a little house.
But they're not building suspension bridges over large rivers. But I'm stupid because I question this stuff, right? Two questions present them. Just two. There's only two questions that present themselves. First, a general one. How does a genius such as Roebling translate his idea into reality? That was my first question. And more locally, what was the cultural milieu in Pittsburgh for performing this sort of major engineering feat? What did the Roebling, what did he did it all himself, and then they exacted tolls after the fact
To pay him back?
to
So
pay
he
him
financed
back.
a suspension bridge all on his own, huh? Where do you get that money?
Well, the same place he got the money to buy his 1,500 acres, I guess, when he first came here from Germany and made a commune.
Stupid.
What did Roebling have to work with as he went from concept to finished job? That is, while the availability of iron wire is the first question, what about all the other components Roebling would need in order to do the job when he got to the contract to build the structure in this post-frontier 1844 town? This includes not only materials, but skills to help fashion the materials into the finished structure. Specifically, was it possible for Roebling to get wire of the proper quality in a timely fashion? So, you see the brilliance of this, right? They ask the questions so that you can tell yourself that those questions got answered. Consider the flow of history up until that point. Roebling's work was conceived only about 80 years after the French-Italian War opened in Pittsburgh. Construction of Fort Pitt, a major piece in that war, had begun in 1758. Between then and 1840, the city grew from just a few dozen to more than 40,000 people in less than 100 years. How does a few dozen turn into 40,000 in less than 100 years? Can you please do that math for me?
That math is a lot.
How many people would have to... A few dozen, so that's 36, right? That's a few dozen. We'll say 40. We'll say 40. It's 40,000. 40 turns into 40,000 in less than 100 years. So that would make
A
it.
lot of fucking.
That would make 1,000 people per year, right? Isn't it? Wait, am I wrong?
I don't.
If it's 40 people, turns into 40,000 in 100 years. What's the math?
So.
Well, 40,000 divided by 100.
That's 1,000 kids per person over 100 years. Each person would have to have 10 kids a year. No, just 10 kids in that 100 years. Right?
No. I don't know. I'm asking you.
10 kids.
1,000. It's 1,000 kids per year.
1,000 kids per year.
1,000 kids per year has to be created to make 40,000 over a 100-year period. Because it's actually like 80. What is it?
So that's 25 kids per person. I mean,
Every single person is having 25 kids. Well, because it starts with 40, and then those 40 people
turn into. Well, see, yeah, that's quite a calculation because.
I mean, it doesn't. You can't. How many people would that first 40 have to even set that in motion?
And out of those 40 people, there's going to be at least a couple that can't have kids.
Well, I mean, assuming like a lot of them are kind of old, actually, right?
So,
And then a couple can't have kids, and a bunch of the kids are going to die.
well, and also, are there an even amount of men and women? Like,
I mean, even because then just drop that down to 20.
yeah, there's too many variables to really calculate.
Right, because the men can't have the kids too.
Right.
So we're talking about, and basically you can only have one kid per year, basically, or 2 kids every 3 years, basically.
And if there's only like 5 women out of those 40 people,
You have
like, if
2
the
kids every
majority-
every 3
so
years.
you can't. Yeah, you have to know how many women make up that 40 people.
But even if
Because
it was
that's how
40
many-
women,
Well, then that man's doing a lot of fucking.
But
39
still, I mean-
women, you have to have a man.
right? But
There's no way he could.
But
get that
again, they
many
can
girls
only
pregnant.
produce 2 kids every 3 years. And then those kids can't produce, right? They have to wait till they're at least like 14 back in those days.
12, 13, yeah.
You're still, that doesn't, how do you go from 40 people to 40,000 in just 40 or in 100 years? Civilization had a firm foothold in Pittsburgh, but it had not been so long since life had been much more tenuous. How? What? A good deal of confusion has surrounded the specifics of the wire rope Roebling made for use in his aqueduct. Oh, well then there you go. That makes sense then, right? Because they're basically saying it's just bullshit. Wire rope of strength equal to that of hemp is lighter, smaller gauge, and much more durable, lasting years as opposed to 1 or 2 seasons exposed to the elements. The individual wires can be coated with a varnish on manufacturing, and then the whole rope oiled once or twice a season to minimize oxidation. An interesting consequence of this smaller cross-section is its lesser wind resistance, an important feature in a sailing vessel. It is also much more elastic than hemp, meaning that it withstands a sudden strong load without snapping. Yeah, but isn't it much more susceptible to like freezing temperatures and shit than hemp would be? Doesn't super cold snap shit? In 1839, when Roebling first began solving the problem.
let's just back up for a quick second because like, you're talking about the suspension bridge and the wires made out of coal and
Coal iron.
and then you also need the coal
It's-
for the fuel for the trains
It's
and
coal
the boat.
iron.
How much coal were we able to mine with pickaxes and men to accommodate all of this?
Smithing fires.
Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Who was feeding everybody? How were people feeding? Who was feeding all the animals? Where was all the horse shit going? Or donkey shit, actually, because these are donkeys.
It's just the amount of coal that you have to mine in order to make
Her brain
the
hurts.
wire.
I don't know. I don't know how much coal. I don't know how much coal goes into a wire.
And then you
How
need
much-
coal
how
to
much-
fuel the forge.
How much coal?
You need coal to fuel the boats. You need coal to fuel the trains. You need coal to fuel the fucking lights.
How much
How
coal?
much coal were they?
How much coal goes into a 10-foot section of wire? How much coal does it take to make a 10-foot section of
How
coal
much
iron
coal
wire?
do you go through in one barbecue session of burgers?
That's charcoal though. That's different.
Okay, but still, it's not as strong. It's not as dense. It doesn't burn as long. But just think about it. It's still ultimately, the same concept.
Well,
So it takes a lot of coal for them to use for heating their housing facilities.
it's not that warm out here, is it?
Why do
I mean-
we have this kid's pants off?
And then the adult standing behind them is in a jacket and pants.
I mean,
In 1839, when Roebling first began, listen, I'm going to answer these questions for you.
no, you're not.
In 1839, when Roebling first began solving the problem of making wire, of making rope from iron wire for the APRR, he was intending to use it for a running line, that is, one that would be in motion as opposed to a standing line, such as the stays on a sailing vessel that hold the masts in place. Thus, his first rope had to be not only strong but flexible, able to pass around a sheave or pulley. It had to be able to bend but not take a set. Don't know what that means. It's in quotes. Take a set. The individual wires and the collected group of wires, therefore, had to have very particular material properties. Rambling developed and patented in 1842 a method for the spiral laying of wires around a common axis without twisting the individual wires, while also having them each, quote, under a uniform and forcible tension under all circumstances. In other words, they would each bear a common share of the load on the rope. They would be in, quote, in contact with one another over the entire length of the rope, thus, to a great degree, excluding air and water, preventing corrosion. Only a few years after the Pittsburgh Aqueduct, as Roebling spelled it, was built, he wrote up specifications for a structure on the Delaware and Hudson Canal that he said was, quote, in all parts similar to those of the Pittsburgh Aqueduct. This channel was intended to carry anthracite coal to New York City. What? No, what? No!
I need the phone. I need to see what that push it does to get the Super Saiyan 9. I had it.
I'm sorry.
Mom, may I use your phone real quick?
I can't lose the page, sorry.
Type it in.
I'm about to get it. Did
You already know. What are your options?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Hold on.
It's I want to grow. That's what you have to put.
No. In Dragon Ball Z.
You have to put I want to grow.
Which wish gives you Super Saiyan God?
I love how when my kids ask Google, they ask it like this super long question, putting way too many more words in it than necessary. Hey, why aren't you cleaning?
In Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Oh, you just been
which
standing here
wish
waiting,
gives
huh?
you Super Saiyan God power.
For real, Nathan?
Yes. You said you were going to give me a bucket.
So you just been waiting. You couldn't think about any of it. God, dude, you take such advantage of things. Come on, Nathan. Come on. Come on. Look at here. Look what Daddy has. Come here. Oh my goodness. I know, because what didn't you do? You didn't. Starts with an L. There you go.
I looked super
You
hard.
You didn't look
I
at all.
looked so hard that I didn't see it.
Yep. So funny. You're so funny.
What level do you have to be? I want to become a Super Saiyan God. I want stuff. I want money. I want a rare item. I want to dress up. I want to get stronger. I want to grow. I want a new ultimate attack. I want a new super attack. I want an
Yeah, we can read them. Come on.
I want medals. I want to dress up more. I want a new super attack. I want to grow more. I don't know.
I want to grow more. Yes. I want to
You
grow.
promise me?
Yeah. If it doesn't work, then just reset it. Do you have it saved on one? Save it on one profile.
I just have to exit.
Okay, that's all you have to do.
What? No, hold up. Just look it up real quick.
Dude, give me this.
How do you spell sand?
Give me this. God, you guys are dumb.
Why are you so dumb?
Look, this is how this works. Super Saiyan. Oops. Wish.
Super Saiyan God wish.
I want, in Dragon Ball Z, you can use Shenron to unlike Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as a playable character. No.
What, Mom? Wait,
How do I wish to become? And I want to become Super Saiyan God.
Yeah, but wait. No, hit. Hold on, wait. Let's see what level you have to be. Shut up. Go. No, hit home. Hit home. No.
Shut up, man. First, your character needs to be a Saiyan. Then you need to reach level 40.
Okay.
Dude, settle down. Be a Saiyan. Find 6 other Saiyans. Do the Super Saiyan God ritual. Get the 6 Saiyans to transfer you into a key.
That's in that. I'm just
Your custom character right off the bat. Yeah, well.
I want to go more, okay?
Well, if you want to.
I mean, is it correct?
What boost does you? No.
Yes, just try it.
What
Okay.
do all the wishes do? Hang on.
So, Nick, you only have one
It says you gotta. It has to become. I want to become Super Saiyan God. It gives you that wish. So I don't know what you haven't done yet.
Hold on, wait. Look up what level you have to be. Level 40. Okay, so I want to go stronger. Hold on, wait. Before anything, let's look up what that does. What I want to go stronger does.
If you can't grow stronger, it won't let you.
I can. I'm at level 90. Hold on, wait. Look up what that does.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure I want to be stronger. Or it might be a new ultimate attack. Wait, hold on. Look. No, it's not. I'm gonna click I want to get stronger.
Okay, so if you don't have the patience to wait, that's on you then, isn't it? What are you freaking out about? Chill out, dude. You're acting like something's wrong with you.
What?
Wish through the Dragon Balls requires max friendship with Goku, Gohan, and Videl, Gotenks, and Trunks. Yeah, you have to get all of those guys on your team first.
I do.
They're not. They're all not at max friendship. They can't be. You need all 5 of them.
Yeah, I do. That's gonna be up there.
No, it's not.
I want to go. Just try everything. Constantly get Dragon Balls. Get out of here.
I wouldn't do it.
That's easy. Yeah, that's easy.
Okay, so now see what happens. I mean,
But he just said he
probably
can't try.
foolish. There you go. You got 2 of those instead.
Shut up! Shut up, Nate! No, you didn't say it. Guys, refrain from saying I don't care. I really don't.
Nick, why are you being weird, man? Because you're not patient. Well, maybe you learn from that. Okay, well, next time you want help, then don't ask. Because you don't care. You're being a jerk. Then stop being a jerk, dude.
Wait, I got an idea. You gotta gather, like, click on Gohan, push on everybody else. And nothing for her.
Dude, you haven't tried, so I don't know why you won't, like, try everything.
It's your boy Legacy CXI back with another YouTube video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to get Super Saiyan on Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now there's 2 requirements. One is completing the Frieza arc. The second is being level 30. At least level 30. So the first thing you want to do is you want to travel to the platform in midair.
Did you beat the Frieza thing yet? Did you beat the Frieza arc yet?
This isn't that one.
Xenoverse 2.
Corporation. There's 2 ways to get up there. The first is flying, as I showed you, and second is talking to one of these little robots, which will just take you straight there. Once you're there, you're going to examine this little...
You have to go to Capsule Corp.
...object, which will take you to Capsule Corporation itself. And the reason why you have to be level 30 is because Vegeta won't actually give you a mission unless you're level 30 for some strange reason. I have no idea why. But a way to check.
You know what? I'm done here. I'm sorry. I'll finish this up tomorrow. This was good, but I'm done. Have a great day. Pedophiles, kill yourself.
Now, if you see that, you can